Hi, Carl. Welcome back.
Hello, Douglas. Thank you for having me back and discussing my third book. So before we discussed my Dyslexia code book and then the universe book, topics within them, but today it's the Healthspring code, the subtitle, What the Longevities Know About Living Disease-Free and We Don't. But the particular item topic within that is why minerals naturally are everything in health. And I've got 12 topics. This is one of them. You on two of the other topics, and it's on lightsurfers.me. So it's lightsurfers.me. So just getting into it straight away, why minerals naturally are everything in health. I study the longevity nations, and they don't eat meat, dairy, and eggs, and all organic. Then I looked at the China study. So in the mid-70s, the Premier of China got cancer, and with Oxford University, UK, Cornell University in the States, they surveyed 96% of the Chinese population, and they discovered what causes cancer is meat, dairy, and eggs. So in sort of 2011, I went vegan. But then after about 6 months or so, I got tested. I went from Dublin to London at Biolab, paid about £500 through saliva, blood and urine tests. And my mineral and vitamin levels fell below recommended standards. And the way I got it up is through a Seagan diet. So that's vegan and fish. So, we all know pescatarian, which is vegetarian and fish. So it's Seagan, vegan and fish. And so the problem that vegans have got is that they go for supplementation. And supplementation is either made by drug companies, so it's not what your body should have, it's not nature, or even if it's taken from food products, say vitamin A and stuff like that, nature doesn't elementize. And that's the problem. Vegan is the right way, but I'm proposing for the next 20 years, until we fix the vegan problem, the way we can fix the vegan problem is by putting more minerals in soil so that the plants can absorb the minerals. So the longevity nations have between 20 and 100 times the minerals in their food than we have. And that's the issue. We need every single mineral. It's like a piston of a car engine. Every single mineral and vitamin needs to fire.
Which nation is the highest in longevity? I would have guessed Japan.
Okay, so in my list, I mainly studied the Hunza-Kuts. So I see the number one, and then there's 7 other longevity nations. So the Hunza-Kuts lived disease-free until the mid-60s. I've actually got a video clip of them in my book. And different people studied with them, and I looked at their 4 books of people that wrote about them. One US doctor lived with them for 7 years to try and find out how do they do this. And but then on your question on the next one is from recollection is the Okinawas, not Okinawas, Japan, is the Chinese. I think they're the Chinese in China, and then the Okinawas in Japan. And both of them also have seafood. The Hunza-Kuts didn't have seafood, but the other 2 did have seafood.
I know that there's all sorts of different sort of diets around. And for me personally, I think that fish has got to be one of the best foods for you. I know some people who are vegans don't eat it, but I disagree. I don't think there could possibly be anything bad in fish unless the water is poisoned.
Yeah, put you this way, a lot of people say our seawater has now got different, minute plastics in it and so on, and certain other things, but it's 1,000 times better than eating meat, dairy, and eggs still. And I see a Seagan, I come from South Africa, Pretoria, South Africa, a lot like this, US. It's all meat, dairy, and eggs. One of my two best friends from school days is a butcher. For people to go from meat, dairy, and eggs directly onto vegan is too big a step. So I've got two studies, a mineral and plant study that I want to pull off with the Agricultural University to show how we can increase minerals. But the first one I'm now getting underway is the Let's Live Longer Now study, 36 months. I've, for 10 years, been trying to convince two universities to back the study so that I have a research university can do it with me. And I've come close twice. Once with the Dublin University and once with the London University, but I've failed. And I've now, I've tried so many routes because the medical community is funded by the drug companies. So what I'm now doing is just starting a study on my own, far smaller pilot study, over 36 months, where I've got four diseases, so 3 plus 1. So it's osteoporosis, multiple sclerosis, and cystic fibrosis plus coronavirus, and want to show how we not necessarily fully reverse it over 36 months, but certainly reverse it. And I'll come on to that now. So in nutritionists always talk about six things in nutrition: minerals, vitamins, water, carbs, fats, proteins. To me, mineral vitamins is the most important. Water, I recommend structured water. It's in my book. I've got a chapter on there. Carbs, you get it through gluten-free products like rice, potatoes. Fats, the fish have got the omegas that they get from the alga that they eat. And other vegetarian fats are fine. Protein is a complete myth. I had an amino acid test done, and it's just a urine test. It's very cheap, $50 a euro or something it was, to my nutritionist. You've got to do it by a nutritionist. And I had all the protein with the Seagan diet. So and just so interesting, that same test, the amino acid test that's so cheap, gave the same results. It can tell you what mineral vitamins you lack as well. Then I paid for the other test that cost £500. So I've got a chapter, I think it's 17, on different tests to do, but that's just something. So why do I say minerals is everything? So our blood, our circulatory system runs at 7.365 pH. If it goes up or down by 0.5 pH, you die. And the circulatory system, the blood, the lungs, and the kidneys regulate that. All meat, dairy, and eggs are slightly alkaline before it enters the body, so over 3.65 pH, but it's acidic forming in the body. It's called a Pral score, Pral. All fruit and veg, so fruit, so say a lemon that's 3 to 4 pH, or even broccoli that's say HPH, that's alkaline, whether they're acidic or alkaline, they alkaline forming in the body is again called a Pral score. Now, different people, because of different genes, it must be because of different genes, when meat, dairy, egg diet is put in your body, acidic diet, forming body diet, because of the different genes, for a particular person, it has to look, to keep the blood at 7.365 pH, it has to get alkaline minerals. So there's 4 main alkaline minerals, which is sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. And so for someone with osteoporosis, say, or multiple sclerosis, it pulls the calcium out of the bones or teeth because the blood has to be at 7.365 pH. On multiple sclerosis, it's the nerves chattering. So the nerves have got a myelin sheath. So it's like an electrical wire with a plastic around it. And I immediately knew when I researched this that the myelin sheath has to be alkaline minerals. And sure it was. It was 90% alkaline minerals. So it's the acidity that's eating that myelin sheath. So you can correct it with the right diet. What's the other one I'm picking? Okay, cystic fibrosis. So my asthma disappeared within 9 months. I used to walk around with the Ventolin pump. And so cystic fibrosis also to do with the lungs, and I think that's the easiest one. I think osteoporosis over 36 months might improve 20%, the bone density and stuff like that. We'll have certain tests like that. Multiple sclerosis, I just don't know. It's probably 50%, I don't know. But I think cystic fibrosis, we might have a 100% recovery. Coronavirus, I need to figure out how we're going to do that one. I'm just actually working on that today.
What do you mean for coronavirus? You mean how to cure it?
Yeah, so I've got a chapter on vaccines, and I'm saying in my chapter that if you're on meat, dairy, and eggs diet and pesticides, because pesticide gets trapped in the body, I would definitely have a vaccine. It's the right thing to do. But if you're on my diet, Seagan and 70% organic, your body, if your body is not toxic and you cannot get any disease, I know I cannot get coronavirus. It's impossible. It's like I cannot get influenza. I can't get flus or colds. I just don't get it. People cough all over me and I just don't get it. And there's a guy, how it all starts, Louis Pasteur in the 19th century, late 19th century, he was a germ theory guy. So that's why we got drugs and pasteurization. He had a compatriot called Anton Bicamp. I never know how to pronounce it. Also a Frenchman, and but a quiet guy and not so wealthy. And Anton Bicamp said, it's the terrain. If your terrain is correct, you cannot get, any germ cannot take hold in your body. And on Louis Pasteur's deathbed, his son found notes afterwards that Louis Pasteur said, Bicamp got it right. So I'm all for drugs if I'm in an accident or anything like that. Other thing is I've got a chapter on salt. Table salt is a slow poison. There's a reason for that. So you need to go on sea salt or Himalayan salt. But because table salt is used as a preservative in a lot of food, you cannot eat all those foods. So one critical thing that I mustn't forget to mention, maybe I'll just mention, I shop in Little, which is one of the cheapest shops here in London. And they now sell a lot of organic stuff. So carrots, apples, tomatoes, broccoli, spinach, bananas. And then I have also things that's unfortunately not organic, like a bit more expensive stuff like avos or grapefruits or kiwi fruits. They are the three other big ones, and the bananas. But then the rest, I have tinned seafoods, very cheap. Wild salmon, tuna, mackerel is very cheap and fantastic. Sardines, there's many. So you can actually eat very cheaply. And the last thing is the healing crisis. I've got a chapter on the healing crisis. So when you get better, you get worse. Because you now study a Seagan diet, which is fruit and veg, obviously, as well, and seafood, washes your body. Then all the pesticides and bad stuff that's trapped in your cells get pushed out into the bloodstream. And then you've got a healing crisis. You're starting feeling unwell. So, there's so many hard things that people can get wrong because now they run to the GP, and the GP only knows how to give drugs. But they're actually getting better. That's the sign that they get better.
Okay. We do have to wrap it up. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Can you please give out your website again?
So it's lightsurfers.me, lightsurfers.me.
Okay, and your book is called The Healthspring Code. You've also got another book called The Universal Code and The Dyslexia Code. And they're all available on that website?
They're all there, $3.50.
Okay, great. Well, Karl, thanks again for coming back on the show and sharing. Always informative.